Okay, so I seem to have no front camera today. So welcome to Facebook Live in the dark. I I I am sure I'm here. You can see my hand. I don't know where my other camera went. So I sent out the help call, but we're waiting patiently for my Tyler to come rescue me. Because he might know what happened. Hey, Mr. Tyler, I have no front camera. No front camera. I have a close up, and I have.
Light's not on.
Why is the light not on?
Okay, let's try.
We'll just sit here in the dark.
Yep, sit here. Oh,
Woo!
that was it.
Cool.
Alright.
Thank you.
Check one, check two. There you go.
Thanks. Just lose its mind, or
Yeah.
okay. Hey, welcome to Facebook Live on Thursday. I have a front camera now. I'm so excited. You can see my hair that is currently laying down. It's been trying to stand up for 2 days straight, and we've stopped that business, so we can carry on. Welcome to apparently day 8 of this silly little project I'm working on. I wasn't sure how many days it would be. Somebody I was talking with in the store a little bit earlier, they're like, I thought this was only going to be 5 days on this project. But I can tell you right now, I don't think it'll be 10 either, and we're at day 8. So I've thought of a couple more things that could be added to this bag, and there's still space. So we'll keep going. We are working on a project kit from Aster and Anne. It's a wonderful product. It's a little felt bag, and each day over the course of the last 7 plus today, we are adding another element to this bag blank to, I don't know, to decorate it with all the different ways I can decorate things. So on Tuesday, I cut some applique using the Brothers Scan and Cut. I cut some fabulous, funky little scissors. This is just out of quilting cotton, and that's out of Cuddle because I could. So we're gonna stitch some applique today. Is where we're headed, and I'm just gonna plug an iron in real quick here. Let's see if I can get one of these that will be fusible. So, and then I've got a glue stick for my other one. Get my keyboard out of the way. Oh, apparently we don't have a top camera either. So, my game plan here, okay, no top camera. Oh, and it's not Friday, it's Thursday. I hate to break it to you, we have one more day this week, and then it's spring break for the kids. My orange fabric has the Brother Fusible on the back. There is no fusible products on the back of my scissors. I'm going to glue stick those down, but I'm going to start with those ones, and then we'll fuse the other ones in a moment. So I've got a Soline glue pen, and these are just wee little scissors. They're not going to take a lot of glue. I could have used Wonder Under on the back of this and fused it on prior to cutting. Or I could have used the Brother Fusible with the Scan and Cut as well. We'll just do a little bit of glue stick glue there. A little bit of glue stick glue. And then I'm going to plunk scissors somewhere on top of my felting. My other iron's just about warm enough. So, on this little project bag. I think I'll add the scissors right there. And then I think that other pair, might add up here. Roughly up there. With the Brother fusible on this, they do need to be fused for quite some time. We're going to do a little heat check on my felt that it will be okay to fuse, and if not, I don't want to mash my felt with too much heat because it is a polyester felt. Pretty sure it's a polyester felt. So I'm just going to use caution with this. And with fusing, with fusible products, you do need to read the temperature directions on them so they get hot enough to do what they need to do. That looks like it's adhered. So I'm going to leave it kind of like that. Scissors all over the place. And then we're going to figure out how we're stitching this. I think I'm going to do some blanket stitch today because blanket stitch sounds like fun. And I might just do, I'm actually just going to do a running stitch through those little scissors because they're cuddle and they're wee tiny little things. So blanket stitch is going to be a little bit harder to have them land on the fold. As for on my machine today, I'm going to run the number 23 foot from Bernina, which is an applique foot. And it has a very, very short little toe. So part of the reason for picking this particular foot over a different one today is a short little toe is easier to maneuver around tighter curves. Lots of times the number 20 foot is a fantastic foot to use for applique because you can see really well. But sometimes you need something that is a shorter toe because you've just got such tight little curves. So I've got the number 23. You can pair the length of the toe. It's about half as long on this foot as it is on, nope, maybe a third as long as on the number 1 foot. It does have a smaller stitching area, so I will tell the machine that it's being used. It's got the 5mm stitching area. And you know what, maybe I'll do a zigzag over my scissors. I'm just going to do a loose zigzag. That's my plan here. One of the things I'm going to set up to do here is I'm going to go pretty slow. And when we're needing to go around tight curves, we need to pivot when we're in the right place so that our stitches don't peter off on the outside. So I'm going to stitch over my entire cuddle here rather than going around the outside because the whole handle on this little pair of scissors is just a wee little thing. And then I'm going to lift my presser foot to pivot. And generally on these types of curves, you need to pivot when you're on the outside of the swing of that stitch. And as this gets a little bit wider up around the top, I could widen the stitch a little bit. Pivot again. back up. And then now this other side is my outside edge. Make sure I don't drag the rest of this around. Lengthen. Nope, I'm just gonna leave. As I get down to the end of the scissor blade, I'm going to narrow the stitch up just a little bit. I think I'm going to come back. So this is kind of how you would stitch applique down if you were wanting to do a cuddle applique on a quilt. Just a bunch of zigzag around the outside of it will hold it in place. A bigger piece of cuddle would be more fun to work with, obviously. But maybe you don't have it bigger. Maybe you just want tiny little fuzzy scissors. I don't know what you're up to. And many machines you can change the width of the stitch as you stitch. Fuzzy scissors. Just kind of double run of stitching. Then we could use the knot function on board the machine. Lift the foot. Pull the threads and cut them off on the back. So fuzzy little cuddle scissors. Then we could go and get ready to stitch the applique down. So this isn't quite a satin stitch, which is okay. It's just a zigzag. I wanted some of that texture to still come through. So I'm going to use the same foot to set up for a blanket stitch. Most machines have a blanket stitch built in. And I'm going to switch to orange thread, I think. I think that would bring me more happiness. There's a whole ton of information if you'd like more practice doing blanket stitch applique. We have a line of patterns from Patch Abilities that has fantastic information on blanket stitch. And one of our on-demand recorded classes Anne taught is a gnome tea towel that covers all the ins and outs of blanket stitch applique. All the different shapes you might need to go around, how to pivot in and out of corners, all those good things. So I've got a wee little blanket stitch. This is another one where testing before you go would be good. See if you're going to be happy. Right now I have the machine bobbin threaded for regular tension. So I'm going to switch that to embroidery tension because it's going to be more noticeable in a blanket stitch than in other stitching. You could also match your top and bobbin thread if you're worried about what it looked like on the back. But I think the size of that blanket stitch is going to be good. Yeah, I'm just going to change how that bobbin is threaded. Add a little bit more tension to the bobbin. One more little test run. I think I'm going to be happier with that. So, in my blanket stitch, the way I'm going to get started is with a tiny little straight stitch right at the edge of my fabric in towards the corner where I'd like to start, or in towards the point where I'd like to start. Really short little stitch length, just a couple stitches, and then I'm going to pivot around and go back into the blanket stitch that I had set up. And with a blanket stitch, you need to pivot when the needle is on the straight line of the stitch. So when it starts to veer off away from where you're trying to work, we're just going to do a little pivot. But we're not going to pivot on that little stitch inward on the fabric, because otherwise we'll get not a tidy little blanket stitch, we'll get a not pretty blanket stitch. It'll be a wide V kind of looking thing. Right at the tip of the scissor, I'm going to go all the way there. This one might need one more stitch. Ready for our stitch forward. bake my stitch into the corner because it's not quite the right distance. Pivot again. Generally with any type of machine applique like this, you will want some stabilizer in behind your project. Currently, I don't have any stabilizer in behind there, but the felt is very, very stable. And this is not a dense satin stitch. We're at snarly by. Opening that zipper. I'm back at the beginning. Switch back in my short and straight stitch. And stitch back over the straight end of that stitching. And then I can pull that tail to the back when I give it a little yoink at the end. So, blanket stitched scissors. Oh, we didn't stitch around the inside of the hole. We should still do that. So, inside of the holes behave a little bit differently because we'll have to pivot. No, we still have to pivot on the straight line of the stitch, but we'll go around one of these with you guys watching, and then we'll let you. We're going to loop back all the way around for this. So a little bit of that straight stitching. My blanket stitching will end on top of that when I'm done. Here I might have to pivot. Yay! Tiny little straight stitches to secure all of that. Give that a little yank. Bobbin thread to help pull that top thread through to the back for this finishing thread. So I'll finish stitching on that other eye of the scissor at another point. I don't know how long you guys can watch the embroidery channel, but as I stitch applique, my head gets closer and closer and closer to the machine, and my eyes go crossed. So it might be time for new glasses and to not have a camera in my way while I'm stitching. But there we've added some applique on top of our felting on the one side of our bag. Still got all that other decorative stitching, and we're getting closer to the end of this project. But no promises as to when we'll be done. I keep having more ideas, and there's more space left on the bag, so hang tight. Oh, I just thought of something else. Never mind. We'll save that for another day. Other things going on here in the store. I have new fabric in behind me called Aurelia. It's gorgeous. It's got that metallic finish on it. If you're looking for something springy and sparkly and maybe just perfect for a peppermint swirl dress. I think that'd make a really sweet peppermint swirl dress. With butterflies flitting around a twirly skirt. It would be fantastic. That's what I would use that fabric behind me for. Also going on in the store, we had a Bernina sale start on Tuesday, so there's some fun stuff on there. Right across the range from our Burnett's all the way up to the Q16 in a folding table. So if you're looking for options for your free motion quilting, that might be right. And there's some other goodies in there. We are running lots of classes in April. So if you want to take a beginner quilting class, we've got another section of quilting first class up and running. A few different embroidery options for you. Navigators, bigger quilt project. Spoonful of Sunshine is a one-day Kimberbell event. We have an edge-to-edge quilting with your embroidery machine class. And I know that Barb has a long arm wrencher certification class scheduled in there, as well as some machine new owners classes. So we'd love to see you in some of those in April. But there's some cool stuff going on in the store. If you'd like to play along, Aster Nan, felt project bags, figure out how you want to decorate yours. Maybe you want to try all the techniques like I have and build a fun little project, testing out cool features on your machines. That's what I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching the Applique channel.